what will I learn? What will you learn today? The goal of today's webinar is to give you a solid foundation in understanding how Instagram works and how you can use it to inspire travelers and grow your business. So we'll start with a brief overview of Instagram. We'll get to know the app and its many features a little better, including how to link to your account on Facebook and how to update your profile. Then we'll move on to the process for posting original content. We'll learn all about hashtags and how to share content on multiple social media accounts simultaneously with just a couple of taps. We'll also learn how to regram, which is Instagram speak for sharing other people's content on your feed. I'll walk you through that process as well as provide tips and etiquette rules. I'll share a couple of secrets to build a successful Instagram following, as well as a few ways that you can leverage Travel Oregon's new We Like It Here branding campaign. Finally, I'll leave time to answer your questions and troubleshoot any problems you're having with your Instagram account. And as I mentioned earlier, for folks who maybe didn't hear this part, we are recording this session, so feel free, to rely on that to go back and review. All of the attendees should be getting an email after the webinar concludes with a link to that recording once it's available. So before we get started, it might be helpful for folks to go ahead and mute your phones so everyone can hear. And also, if you already haven't done so, go ahead and get out your smartphone now. Open the Instagram app and log into your account. And while you're doing that, I'll give you just a brief introduction to Instagram. So for those who are new to Instagram, there are 4 things you should know about the app. First, Instagram is a popular photo and video sharing social media platform. Unlike Facebook, there's no links to articles or things of that sort. It's just video and photos. Instagram is a mobile platform, and what this means is it's accessed via an app on your smartphone. You can view your account on a computer, but the only place you can really post and take advantage of the power of Instagram is through the app. Instagram has 400 million users, and it's growing rapidly, and this is one of the reasons that it was acquired by Facebook for $1 billion back in 2012. So let's get to know Instagram a little better. Before we get into the specific processes for posting content, I'm going to give you just a quick overview of some of the main features of Instagram. And as we go through each feature, don't be afraid to test it out on your own device. I find the best way really to learn a new social media platform is to play with it. So we're going to start with this little house icon at the bottom of your app. This is called your feed. Go ahead and scroll down through your feed now. And what you'll see is all of the images and videos that were posted by accounts that you're following. They're currently listed in reverse chronological order. And unlike Facebook, every single post shows up on your feed. If you manage a Facebook account, you probably notice that not everyone that's following you sees all of your content. With Instagram, right now at least, every single post that you share shows up on the feed of your followers. One thing to note, however, is Instagram recently announced it's going to be changing the way feeds are displayed. Their new algorithm is going to prioritize posts with more engagement, which are posts that Instagram believes you're more likely to want to see. As they roll out these changes, we'll be offering advice on how to adapt, but the most important thing you can do right now is to consistently post high-quality content and engage with your followers. And we'll be discussing both of those strategies later this morning. Just a few other quick things about the feed. If you want to leave a comment on an image, you just have to tap that little speech bubble just below the photo. You see it right below the tire on this image that we've got up. And here's a little trick, a little shortcut for liking an image. Go ahead and just tap the image twice. So if you look on your own feed at one of the photos that you like, if you just go ahead and tap that image twice, you'll see the little heart pop up, and that means you've liked it. That's a little insider's tip. So next, let's move on to the magnifying glass icon. This is your search page. And as you can see on this page, you can see what's trending on Instagram at the moment. But the real magic happens when you tap on that search box at the top of the page. Here you can search for people. So go ahead and try it by typing in Eastern Oregon, just all one word, right now. And you should see the Eastern Oregon account pop up near the top of the search results. You can also search for hashtags. So hashtags are Instagram speak for words or phrases that are preceded by the pound sign, and they're used to identify photos on a specific topic. For instance, if you type in Eastern Oregon in that same search box, all one word, and tap tags, you should see Eastern Oregon hashtags, which contain more than 31,000 images taken of Eastern Oregon subjects. So let's just try that. Go ahead and put Eastern Oregon in your search and tap the tags thing at the top of your screen. And go ahead and click on, or just tap on that Eastern Oregon that pops up. And what you'll see are all of the photos that people are posting of Eastern Oregon right now, today. And you can also try this for hashtags for a town near you, for an area, an attraction, even for your business. I know a lot of the breweries in particular have lots of folks tagging and using the hashtag for their business name. And then if you want to pop back out of that screen, just go ahead and click cancel, and it'll take you right back out to the main search page. So coming up next, in the center of the app, you'll find the post feature. And it's the camera icon with the blue box there in the center of the app. This is for posting. And we'll come back to this feature a little bit later. I'll walk you through step by step how you post images on Instagram. When you tap on the speech bubble with the heart cut out, you'll find the latest activity on your account. So go ahead and tap You at the top of the app, and you can see everyone who's liked or commented on your post, and you can also see who has recently followed you. And I like to use this feature to monitor comments on posts that I may want to respond to. So when I'm posting for Eastern Oregon and I post an image, and occasionally we get folks saying, how do I get to this place, or where should I eat? This kind of helps me monitor that activity on those feeds without having to check every single individual post. Okay, so now let's go ahead and click on the icon of the little person. This page is called your profile. It contains all of your posts and a couple of other really cool features. For instance, if you click on the icon of the little person in the rectangle, you'll see all of the photos that you've been tagged in by other users. And so other users can tag you in posts, similar to how you can tag folks on Facebook. And this is very useful when we get to the regramming portion, because all of these folks have basically, by tagging me or tagging Eastern Oregon in these photos, have given us essentially permission to reshare those photos on our feed. So from this profile page, you can also adjust your settings, link to your Facebook and other social media accounts, and edit your profile. And I'll show you how to do this next. Okay, so here we are. The first thing we're going to start with is linking your account to Facebook. So you're going to start by tapping the wheel at the top of your profile. Now that's for folks who have iPhones. If you have an Android device, you're going to see 3 dots up there instead. So go ahead and tap that. And partway down the page, you're going to see the linked accounts under Settings, and you're going to want to tap that. Then go ahead and tap on the social media network you'd like to connect. So in this case, we're going to be tapping on Facebook. And when you tap on it, you're going to be asked to log into your Facebook account. So go ahead and do that, or you can just kind of watch and do this later too if you want to. So once the two accounts are connected, that Facebook icon is going to be showing in color, and your name will appear. So you can see there. And then you're going to want to click on your name to select where the Instagram posts on Facebook are shared. So you can choose your personal timeline, which is the default. You can see right here on the page that it automatically defaults it to my timeline. But most of you are going to actually want to share it on your business page on Facebook. And so what you want to do is go ahead and click on that timeline default, and it's going to give you some options of where you want to share things to. So I just went ahead and selected the Eastern Oregon Visitors Association tab, and so now when I link my Instagram to it, it will automatically send posts that I'm posting on Instagram to my feed on Facebook. And then once you've connected the two, you're just going to click that little arrow at the top of the page. Right there. Okay, and you'll want to keep clicking that until you get back to your profile page. So give everybody just a second in case you are connecting with your Facebook account to come back. So from this page, we can also edit our profile. And that profile is that little, you see our photo, and then there's our name and a little blurb and a website. So I'm going to show you how to update that. The very first thing you want to do is tap on that Edit Profile button. And you're going to see a page like this that says Edit Profile. You can update any of these sections by just tapping on them. You really want to make sure that you've got a good photo, a short blurb about your business, and your website address. Right there. And once you're done updating that, you just want to tap Done and return to the profile page. But before we go, I just wanted to say I have a word about the website address feature. This is the only place on Instagram that supports links to website addresses, so make good use of this feature. For instance, let's say you're offering a special Instagram rate on your deluxe mountain view room. You can update the website address here, the website address, to link directly to the room or booking page of your website. Then you could post a picture of the view of the mountain view room, mention the special, and put in the words in your caption, link in profile. And that way your Instagram viewers who are interested in that special can go to your profile, click on that link, and they'll be either taken directly to the mountain view room or to your booking page. Of course, this feature works best when you've got followers. And you can't get followers without posts. So let's move on to the process of posting original content. Before I get into that, does anybody have any questions that you want me to walk through anything? Am I going too fast for folks?
I just have a quick question. Barbara Sidway here. I did it through the chat room. How long or short should the bio be, please?
It's really up to you. I just put a couple of sentences in there. You can see on the Eastern Oregon one, I think I only have 2 sentences in there. So you just probably want to stick with maybe 1 or 2 sentences, just a nice overall cap. And I'm not sure, Instagram used to have a limit on the number of characters. I haven't updated that portion in a while, so I'm not sure if that's changed. But Instagram might also tell you when enough is enough. So they might limit the number of characters you can actually use in that description. Any other questions?
I have a quick question. This is Kristen. Hey, on the activity page where it says following and you can see who's following and who you're following. On the right of, it says a name. It says started following you 6 days ago. There's a green box with like a check mark and a face.
Right.
Or there's a gray box with a clock and a picture, a little icon for a person. Or there's a plus with an icon for a person. What are all the differences in those?
Okay, so the one that I think is green, those are folks that you are following and they are following you. The one with the clock-looking thing is some people set their accounts to private, and so they have to approve anyone that follows them. And so if you have sent a request to them requesting to follow them and there's still that little clock in there, it means they haven't yet approved you to follow them. And then the blank box with the plus means that you aren't yet following them. And so if you were to tap that plus box, it would either send them a request if they have a private account, or it would automatically add you as a follower if their profile is public.
Thanks.
Any other questions? All right, let's go on to posting original content. So we're going to start by clicking on the camera icon right there in the center. And this is the page that will pop up when you click on it. So the library is made up of images that are stored on your phone's camera roll. You can also take and post a picture in the moment by tapping photo. So if you're, taking a trip to Wallowa Lake and it's just gorgeous that day and you just want to share your photo right then and there, then you want to tap on that photo and it'll activate your camera on your phone and you can take the photo right there and go through the whole posting process from there. If you want to try it, just go ahead and give it a quick tap right now to see what I mean about the camera just coming right up on your screen. And then if you want to share video, of course, you would tap on that video little tab there on the right-hand side. So in today's example, we're going to use a photo from my library. So we're going to go ahead and tap on the photo you'd like to share. And you can adjust what is seen on the screen by tapping the arrows pointing in the opposite directions there, or by pinching your screen. So if you need to make it a little bit bigger or you want to crop something out, you can just play with that with the little pinch feature on your screen. And then once you're happy with what you see in your screen, go ahead and tap Next. And that will take you to the Filters page. The Filters feature allows you to select a pre-made filter to enhance your photo. So let's go ahead and just click on Clarendon and to see how your photo changes. And then if you don't really like how that looks, you can try the other, there's a whole mess of filters, gingham and moon and all the way down. And if you don't like any of them, you can always just click back to normal. And then the other thing that you should know too is you can manually edit your photo by using this wrench icon right here. And from there you can manually adjust the brightness, contrast, structure, color, and elements of your photo. So you can kind of tinker with that. Most folks, I think, probably use a lot of the pre-made filters, but if you're feeling more ambitious about editing your photos, feel free to play around with that wrench feature and try different things on it. It's kind of cool. It's a time waster, I will warn you. It's a little addictive. So once you get your photo looking how you'd like it to look, go ahead and click Next again. And now it's time to write your caption. And your caption can be a simple sentence or a paragraph. You want to write it in an approachable voice. And as with any other marketing tool, you want to make sure that you're using good grammar and proper punctuation. At the end of your description, you'll want to include hashtags to help other Instagrammers find your content. And as a reminder, hashtags are Instagram speak for words or phrases that are preceded by that pound sign. They're used to identify photos on a specific topic and help engage new followers. So 2 that you should include on, here's a special tip, 2 you should include on every single post are the hashtag Eastern Oregon and hashtag Travel Oregon. So 100% of the posts that I share on the Eastern Oregon Instagram account come from Instagrammers who have tagged their photos with the Eastern Oregon hashtag. We post no original content on Eastern Oregon's feed. Every single photo is coming from Instagrammers who are visiting our region and posting using the Eastern Oregon hashtag. And with Travel Oregon, they frequently regram photos and post images on their website that were tagged with the hashtag Travel Oregon. So make sure that those are on every single photo that you send out about Eastern Oregon. While we're on this page too, you want to be sure and tap the Facebook button if you'd like to share your image on Facebook as well. You can also add a location and tag other accounts in your post. So don't be afraid to play with these features on your post. An example of when you might want to tag somebody. So say you're posting, say you're posting an image of some campers who are enjoying some of Barley Brown's beer. You might be posting about those campers, but there's no reason on the photo that you can't also tag Barley Brown's Instagram account. And that's a good way too to help connect with other Instagram accounts in the region, is to be following those folks and then giving them some love by tagging them in your Instagram posts. So once you're satisfied with the photo and the caption and all of those other things, you're just going to click share, and you're done. That's it. That's your first post. So next, we're going to move on to regramming. Before I do that, though, I just wanted to stop again and ask if anybody has any questions on posting original content. So this is content that you yourself are taking and generating. And we'll move on next to how to share other people's content on your feed. Any questions?
Liz, actually, Susan has a question.
Sure.
So I'm an amateur here, have never done this. So my question is, if I go through that process and tag it to somewhere, Eastern Oregon and Travel Oregon, and give it a caption, is it screened then by then, or does it automatically go on there?
So when you do, remember when I was showing you the search feature? So what will happen is when you tag Eastern Oregon, it'll be part of those 30,000 other posts that are on Instagram that were tagged with the Eastern Oregon hashtag. Then if I want to reshare it as EOVA, what I do is I go into that search place and look for hashtags or look for images that have recently been hashtagged with hashtag Eastern Oregon. So basically what you're doing when you hashtag Travel Oregon is you're giving them a tool, Travel Oregon a tool, to be able to find those great images, because they'll just go right into the search and enter, hashtag Travel Oregon, and it'll come up with their, 300,000 posts or however many they have that are hashtagged with Travel Oregon. So it'll automatically go to your account, but those hashtags they won't make the image pop up on my account, for instance.
So
it's just an easy way those hashtags are used so that I can find that image amongst, the millions of images that are shared every day.
You're the only one that sees the initial post, and then you make a decision whether it goes to the public.
Well, yeah, people who follow your particular feed will see it because they're, following you. But in terms of, you use the Eastern Oregon hashtag, basically you're just tagging that as like, hey, this is from Eastern Oregon. And that allows me, EOVA's Instagram manager, to then go in and search for those images with that particular hashtag and look for the best ones and decide to pull those onto our feed.
But I think
If I may, I think this is Christy at NEOADD. I think she's asking, are they screened by anyone? And the answer is no.
No. No, the hashtags are, it's very democratic. So people can use, anyone could use the Eastern Oregon hashtag on any image. But there's kind of a etiquette on Instagram that you try to use hashtags that really are really fit with the geographical location or the subject of the image.
So how do you deal with a permission issue when it comes to taking pictures of people?
So that's an interesting question. We, for Eastern Oregon, and you can see on our profile that there was that little line about use the Eastern Oregon hashtag to give us permission to repost. And so we use that as basically our permission. If they're using the Eastern Oregon hashtag, and the same goes with Travel Oregon, we take that as permission that we can regram those images regardless of their subjects. So obviously, just from our own internal, we try to be conscientious about what images we regram. I'm not going to probably regram images of photos of children if I don't personally know the person who posted it and have their permission. But for most other things, if people have already put them out public and used the Eastern Oregon hashtag, it's already out there, basically. And we have operate under the assumption that when they use that Eastern Oregon hashtag, that is a permission for our specific account to be able to repost those images.
I have a question, Barbara here again. So I use Dropbox a lot to keep my images, and it looks like something's changed with Instagram since the last time I played with it. So if you go to photo and you don't want to use your camera roll, you can go to favorites, and then library, and then from favorites you can access Dropbox, but I'm not accessing all my Dropbox. So can you tell me how that works?
I'm not actually sure.
Okay.
Into that
yes,
a little
I haven't
bit
noticed
more.
this before.
I
mean,
don't
I
have
think
mine connected to Dropbox, so
Okay.
I'm not really sure actually how that works. But let me look into it, and maybe we can talk after this and see what's going on. I know Instagram just put out 2 updates this week, and so there's some new features on here that I'm still trying to figure out what they changed. Basically,
yeah.
there's a couple of things.
This is one of them because I just updated a couple of days ago, and it's cool. It's got, if you go into favorites, it's got all kinds of different options to get your images instead of just your camera roll. So.
Are you using yours on an iPhone or on an Android device?
iPhone.
You know?
Yeah, iPhone.
iPhone. Okay. I have to look for that. I haven't seen that part yet, so
yeah.
I'll check it out. Okay. So any other questions? All right. Let's move on to regramming. So first, a definition. Regram is Instagram speak for sharing another user's photo on your Instagram feed. And so here's an example of what I mean. This original post came from Nellie Mae's farm, and here it is regrammed on the Eastern Oregon account. The photo credit for it. So for the Eastern Oregon account, as I was just saying just a few minutes ago, we only regram images that were tagged with the hashtag Eastern Oregon hashtag. And so that's a good rule to follow when you're trying to figure out what you should be regramming and what not. Is, for instance, if you're for Timothy in Baker County, if someone's using the Basecamp Baker hashtag or Baker County, Baker City hashtags, I would feel confident regramming those and the things in your region in particular. Same with if someone is using your business name, if you're a brewery or bed and breakfast or a museum, and someone is using that hashtag for your museum or your organization, I would feel fairly confident it's well within the etiquette on Instagram to regram those images if people are using hashtags for specific regions or businesses. So let's talk a little bit about the ways to regram. So you might be surprised to hear this, but Instagram does not actually include a feature to regram images. There's no share button like you have on Facebook. And so there are two ways to work around this. The first is using the screenshot feature on your phone. So your smartphone enables you to take a screenshot of everything you see on your screen. So when you're doing this, you just want to find the image you'd like to regram and take a screenshot of it. So there's that image. In the Instagram app, you're going to click on the camera icon to see the screenshot in your camera roll. And you'll tap on the
You're so excited! You know it like that?
Okay.
Do you have National Federal Park now?
Okay. Then we're going to resize image to remove the white space.
No, I put them in for mine.
That using the pinch.
Can I stop you for just a second, Liz? This is Karen from Umatilla. I don't know how to take a screenshot of my phone.
Okay, so, and you're
I'm on an Android.
iPhone or an Android?
Android.
I'm going to have to get back to you on the Android, how to take a screenshot. For your for iPhone, what you do is you hold on, you simultaneously push down button at the bottom in the middle of your screen and the power button simultaneously, and that will take a screenshot. For Android, I actually not sure how Android takes a screenshot. So I need to check.
Anyway, you guys, enjoy. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
So I need to check on that one for you.
I'm sorry, can you tell me how to do the screenshot on the iPhone one more time?
Screenshot on the iPhone. You see that round button that's at the bottom of your phone in the middle?
Could you remind folks to put their mute on, please?
There's a little,
because it's really hard to hear you when we have all the background going on. So could you just remind folks to please put their mute on?
Yeah, if everyone, when you're not asking a question, if you could just put your mute on, that would really help. So for taking the screenshot on the iPhone, there's that round button that's at the bottom of your phone, like right at the center.
Mm-hmm.
And then depending on your, if you have an iPhone 6, the power button's going to be there on your right-hand side. If you have an earlier model, it's going to be at the top of the phone on the right-hand side. And you're just going to hold down those two buttons simultaneously. So you'll hold down the red button, or the round button and the power button simultaneously, just a real quick push, and you'll hear the phone click at you when it's taken a screenshot. And then those screenshots are automatically saved up in your camera roll.
Okay.
Liz, may I interrupt you for just a moment, please? Sure. I just looked online, and it says taking a screenshot on any other Android phone or tablet, as in not a Samsung device. It's pretty easy, but a little different. Press the power button and the volume down key at the same time. Remember to hold them until you hear a click or a screenshot.
Yeah.
And I did that, and it worked.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's just step back here just a minute. And so taking our screenshot, go and click on the camera on our Instagram app to see that screenshot in your camera roll. And then we're going to resize that photo. So right now you can see it, it's got photo at the top and Nellie Mae's Farm and all that kind of stuff. And so you're going to use sort of the pinch technique to get it so that it fits full screen. And then, and so once you've done that, you're going to click Next. and then you're going to follow the process for posting an image, like we just went through. One of the things that I need to note for etiquette reasons, you do not edit another user's images. So in this, when you're regramming, you're going to skip right past the filters. Just don't even touch that one. Because a lot of Instagram users are more than willing to have you regram their images, but if you're messing with the color and cropping it and things like that, that is considered poor form on Instagram. So no editing on this one. Just click next. But you can put your own original caption if you'd like to. You don't have to. You can quote the original poster if you prefer. But I usually actually use original credit or original captions. You want to make sure, however, that you're crediting that original photographer. So you can see right there the photo credit, and the way you do that, a lot of times you can just do, just like that, photo credit, and then make sure that they get tagged in it so that they know that that their image has been regrammed. You want to do that @ sign and then their Instagram handle. So in this case, it was Nellie Mae's Farm. That'll all be one thing, and then she will receive a notification on her Instagram that in a photo. So that gives her, it's a little courtesy so that she knows that we've regrammed her image. And I have to say, like I said, every single photo that we post is a regrammed image on the Eastern Oregon Instagram account, and more times than not, the original photographer will come over to our feed and thank us for resharing their photo. But the only reason they do that is because we always make sure that we do that photo credit. And then, of course, you don't want to forget the hashtags either. So make sure those are in there, your hashtag Eastern Oregon, hashtag Travel Oregon, and any other hashtags giving, whether it's your local business or your specific region or town, make sure that you're using hashtags for all of those things. And then all you do, click share and to post, and you're done. So that's how you use it doing a screenshot. And there's a second way to regram. There's several apps on the market that are designed to simplify that process. My personal favorite, I use Repost for Instagram. Each app is a little bit different, and since you don't have the apps on your phone, I'm not going to walk through it. But just know that I am available if you want to try to play around with a regram app, that I can help walk you through that process and how to use it. But there are, so each app is a little different, but the same rules apply. You do not tinker with the photo of another Instagram user. You always credit the original photographer in your caption. And one thing that's nice about some of these regram apps is some will automatically add a credit onto the image itself. So it'll automatically put that person's handle in like the little corner of the image, which if you follow like Basecamp Baker, Timothy's feed, he uses one of those regram apps, and so you can see where it's automatically adding that a credit onto the photo. And then, of course, don't forget the hashtags on all of these. Every time you post, make sure that you're using those hashtags.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
What is Barbara here, what is the best etiquette to sort of thank someone? Because I've had that situation. I don't know if I'm supposed to just like give it a heart, make it a comment.
It's really up to you.
Right.
There isn't really a set etiquette. Most of the folks that we're regramming come to us and actually just write out, thank you for posting, or they'll add some additional information about their trip or things that they really loved while they were there.
Or thank you for posting.
And
we
a lot
can't wait
of
to greet
times,
you or something. Okay, got it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Timothy, and we actually engage a lot with folks when they tag us. And a lot of times it's just, go in and like the photo. But, if it's a great photo, it has a thing. The question was, what's the etiquette for responding when somebody tags you or posts a photo? And I mean, I always just sort of watch those tags and somebody tags me in a photo or they take a photo of Baker City and I see that tag. I just, go on and like it. If it's an exceptionally nice photo, I, just, thank them for sharing the photo. And 9 times out of 10, they wind up then following us as well. So that's just nice, good etiquette. People post because they want you to look at their photos and they want you to comment. And so the easiest way to build followers is to just do a little thank you note when somebody posts a great photo about your destination or your business. And then the other thing is a lot of times if I see a photo that I want to regram or share, I'll send a little note that says, great photo, do you mind if we share? And then you just take care of that permission process anyway. But so those are the easy ways that I would just interact. And we typically find, like I said, about 90% of the time, if you like and comment on somebody's photo, they're going to follow you back.
Yeah, I totally agree. We get a lot of followers just from finding those Eastern Oregon hashtags and commenting on photos that we've been tagged in. A ton of followers on that.
And then the only other piece that I would add to that is when you comment, you can also add hashtags. So if we see somebody post a photo of Anthony Lakes, but they didn't necessarily hashtag Anthony Lakes or Ski Oregon, we can see great photo, and then we can add those hashtags that will, make sure that photo gets seen by Ski Oregon or Anthony Lakes themselves.
Yeah, that's a great point too. Great. So any other questions or comments? If not, let's go ahead and move on to some secrets to success. So now that we've got some of the basics down, let's talk just a little bit more about some tips to grow your following and leverage our other tourism partners. So secret number 1, be consistent. Always post high quality images and determine a posting schedule. So be really realistic about what you can commit to. So if it's daily, great. If you think you can only do it, a couple times a week, then that's great too. Just decide up front when you're going to post and really try to stick with that schedule. That consistency keeps your followers engaged with your account. Speaking of engagement, that's secret number 2. Social media, it's a two-way conversation. So make sure that you're making time to respond to your followers' questions and comments and offering travel tips. So this is just an example. When we had Joe Whittle take over the Eastern Oregon account last month, and he was posting some stuff, and we had some followers that had questions for him. So he did a great job of helping to answer those and engaging with folks. Secret number 3, we've been harping on it all day, but use those hashtags. You want to use specific, relevant hashtags. Hashtags are most effective when they identify the subject and or location of your image. So make sure that you're using those on every single post, and just like Timothy brought up as well, you can also be hashtagging in your comments when you're posting on other folks' photos as well.
Liz, can I just make a note here, a
Sure.
comment? On hashtags, one of the good etiquette rules is to only use like 3 to 4 hashtags in your main caption. So in the actual caption, that first piece of text you see. So think about the 3 primary ones that you always want to use. Maybe there's a geographical one, so maybe it's your community name or it's Eastern Oregon. Something that identifies what's in the picture, so maybe it's the name of the festival or the name of the business, and then a third one, and maybe that's Travel Oregon, or maybe it's great beer if it's a brewery, and then what you don't want to do is like have like a list of 40 hashtags in that comment because people won't read that. What you can do though is if you have something where you've got like lots of hashtags and you want to include 4 or 5 different hashtags in addition, is just put the first 3 in that first comment in that caption, and then hit the forward arrow and save and finish up, and then go back and put the rest of those hashtags in that first comment. And because what will happen is when somebody then looks at that photo and they want to comment, that first comment will usually disappear as soon as there's a follow-up comment, but the hashtags are still there. Does that make sense?
It does to me.
So
Okay.
Timothy, you're saying to comment on our own post to put more hashtags in.
Yeah.
Okay,
to
got
add
it.
more than 3, to add more than 3 or 4 hashtags, just add those hashtags under the first comment. So be the first to comment, and then add as many hashtags as you want. So you could add, a hashtag for, historic hotel, Baker City, Geyser Grand, Oregon Heritage, etc.
Yeah, and that keeps your caption a lot cleaner for your followers too.
Right, and that way it doesn't look like you're like begging for attention in that caption.
Yeah, that's great. Great tip. Great tip. So secret number 4, no really, use hashtags. You want to use that search function to find Instagrammers who are posting pictures of your area and engage with them. Just what Timothy and I have been talking about earlier. Really be on the hunt for folks who are visiting your area and using hashtags specific to your region, because those are people that are already interested in where we live, and so those are natural people who are probably going to follow your Instagram account. In our case, the Eastern Oregon Instagram account, we, over the last 6 months, have experienced 158% growth in followers. And we use several strategies to do that, but the one that I use every single day is to search for that Eastern Oregon hashtag and engage on those images. Not only do we gain followers that way, but we're also seeing a huge uptick in the number of images with that Eastern Oregon hashtag, and a lot more people are tagging us in their photos. So there's for example, the Willowus hashtag as of a couple of days ago and what that looks like. So if you're from Northeast Oregon, Wallowa County, that region, those are natural people. You want to go and be engaging on those photos, liking them, and leaving comments and things, because a lot of those photographers will then most likely like your page and engage with your content. And then this has come up within the last couple of weeks. So before I turn it over to questions, I just wanted to touch briefly on Travel Oregon's new branding campaign. So on Instagram, the differences on Travel Oregon's account have really been pretty subtle. So here's an example of one of their We Like It Here posts on the Travel Oregon account. So it's really, if you look at it, I mean, it looks like a normal post to me. They're using their imagery and their wording's a little bit differently, but they haven't really changed too much about what they're posting and the way they're posting. So a few simple ways to leverage the campaign on your own Instagram account. First, make sure that you're following Travel Oregon. It's really important that you can see what they're posting. If you're going to leverage some of the content and regram some of the content that they're sharing, it's going to be hard for you to see it if you're not actually following them. So start by doing that. And then keep your eyes peeled for content to regram. So they will be sharing some content from Eastern Oregon, and when I regram from Travel Oregon, what I normally do is you want to make sure that you're accrediting the original photographer, and then I often will say as part of my caption, reposted from Travel Oregon, just to give them a little love in the caption. You want to make sure that you're using the hashtag Travel Oregon on all of your posts. Travel Oregon regrams and shares the best images that were tagged with hashtag Travel Oregon on its website. So that's a good way, and they have a ton of followers. So if they happen to regram one of your images, it will be seen by literally thousands of people. So that's a good way and a simple way to engage with Travel Oregon. And then another thing I like to do is engage with visitors on Travel Oregon posts about Eastern Oregon. So if they're posting something about the John Day River Territory or the Alvord Desert, I like to go on as Eastern Oregon and engage with those followers who have questions about our region or where to eat or what else they should see. That's a good opportunity to engage with people who are expressing an interest in traveling to our region. And it often helps build your following. If they see an image from Eastern Oregon and then they see, for instance, the Eastern Oregon Instagram account come up in the comments, they're more likely to follow us and engage with our content. So with that, I'd open it up for any questions that folks have.
If you wanted to have two accounts on an Instagram account, like say I wanted a personal Instagram account and then one for Willow Lake Tramway, log out or something and then re-sign in, or how do I manage that?
So I've got great news for you. Instagram actually just put out a new update. And that new update allows you to manage multiple accounts from one login. So to do that, you're just going to go to your profile page, that little person at the bottom, and then if you click on the wheel at the very top, where it takes you to options, if you scroll down to the very, very bottom, there's an option to add an account. And so you can click on that and it'll ask you for the login information for your second account. And then it'll automatically link those two under one login. So you can log in as your personal account, and then you'll be able to, under the profile page, you can switch between your personal account or your business account.
Terrific. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Liz, this is Timothy here, and I think the only other thing that I would mention is when you're using the search function, when you hit that search bar, it'll give you the option to search people, tags. It'll also give you the chance to search places. And so one of those options is just places near you, but you can type in either name of a destination, the name of a community, because a lot of times we will find that visitors may not necessarily know the local DMO tag. They may not tag Eastern Oregon, but they almost always will add a location, and so those photos will show up. So even if they don't necessarily tag, for instance, Barley Browns, they will list the location as Barley Browns, and so you can find and regram and comment and tag those photos as well.
That's great. Yeah, great advice. So a couple more things just to wrap up. I know you all have got busy schedules, so just a reminder to please make sure that you're following the Eastern Oregon account. Just if you're wanting to know, if you have not followed us, which I noticed some of you have started following us during the webinar, so thank you for that. You just go to that search icon and put in Eastern Oregon. Our account will pop up under people, and then you just click on that and click follow. So make sure you're doing that, and also make sure that you're tagging every photo you share with that Eastern Oregon hashtag so that I can see your photos and repost them or regram them on Eastern Oregon's account. Okay, one more thing. EOVA offers free one-on-one technical assistance for anyone who needs it. So I can walk you through how to use the regramming app, answer questions as they come up. Just shoot me an email here at this address to set up a session. And that's it. Thank you so much for participating today. We'll be in touch with you about how to access that recording of today's session. You also, I hope, will be getting emails as soon as we conclude this with a very short survey about the webinar and giving you an opportunity if there are additional issues or topics that you would like us to do future webinars on, to go ahead and give us that feedback so that Alice and I can plan for other opportunities. So I think that's it, unless anybody has any final questions or thoughts.